Well, he has partly answered my question, but the concern still continues. You see, as somebody earlier mentioned, the quality of water itself is a huge challenge in our country. Because no matter the more sophisticated sanitary product and the less quality of water, that becomes a challenge because it gets jammed pretty fast. And I've noticed that because we have installed Hansgrohe in our hotels, and we find that challenge that because of the poor quality of water, let's say the rain shower gets jammed up. In fact, to give you an example, I was in one of our hotels day before yesterday in Gujarat, and when I put on the rain shower, the jet was going all over except on my head,
Right.
because it had all jammed up. So because of the water. So having said that, actually, I wanted to take you through a quick journey as a guest, as an owner, in my journey through a bathroom of a typical hotel. So I'll make it a little more amusing and interesting. So here it is. I came to a hotel with a colleague of mine in a business hotel, and I use the bathroom for my daily rituals. And I find that when I sit on the WC, I need to keep my mobile somewhere because I'm always constantly attached to my mobile phone. I have no place where to keep the mobile on. So I so I try and balance that mobile phone on the toilet roll holder, and it falls off. So I only wish that somebody had put a small platform on top of the toilet holder so that I could set my mobile phone on that. Anyway, having said that, I get up, I go to the basin, and I suddenly get shocked because the lighting on the top of the basin is over my head, and I look straight out of Halloween, with all the shadows falling on my face. And then I want to shave, and I don't have a shaving mug. What do I do? How do I wet my razor? So I have two options: either to fill up my sink, which is very unhygienic and wastage of water, or I use that glass tumbler which they keep for gargling. So I can't figure out why architects like you don't actually design a shaving mug for a bathroom. And then I get into a shower, and I have this very fancy shower area with translucent walls, which look into the bedroom. And here's my colleague who's sharing the room with me, and I'm constantly worried about the silhouette that is projecting outside the translucent wall. And that's quite so. I have a very uncomfortable shower, and then I find this beautiful bathtub with no curtain. And I can't figure out why in a business hotel do we, in the first place, have a bathtub? Because I don't have the time to soak in the bathtub. If it was a leisure resort, I fully understand. You have all the time, you want to chill, you want to relax, your wife wants to soak into the bathtub. But here, I'm concerned about the water conservation. Because by using the bathtub, even if I have a time over the weekend, if I'm a long stayer, I waste more than 100 liters of water in just one single shower or one single soak. Unless, of course, the hotel is expecting some Japanese audience. Japanese clients insist on bathtub. And then I'm talking about getting to the rain shower. I have a beautiful rain shower over my head, and I do not know how many of you have tried cleaning your feet while showering under a rain shower. There's no ledge or a bench where I can actually sit and safely clean my feet. So these are some of the challenges that I face as a guest and also as an owner. So when I enter any of we have already got 8 operating hotels. We have 3 more on the anvil. So I have designed almost 12 hotels, and of which I think Shiv 5 are with you, Decor, 4 or 5 are with you, and then of course we have 5 lifestyle clubs, which also have 2 of them have rooms. So I think these are some of the challenges I wanted to face with senior architects like you. Please bear it in mind for the sake of our guests. Thank you.
Right. No, I'm totally with you. We design a lot of hotels, but we keep the bathtub totally out of the business hotels, because myself, when I get into, because I'm a very regular traveler. I'm in every city every day. I'm somewhere. So we've kept the bathtub outside the business hotels. We have even a lot of clients, but then clients are to be blamed, because the first time hoteliers, they are a big challenge, because they go to a hotel, they stay in a resort, but they do not understand these aspects of the hotel, that doing a glass which is seen in the room, what is it for? But just because they've seen it and they like it, they want to implement it without understanding the function of a particular thing. They want to implement it, and that's a challenge. And as you say, what you say, I'm totally with you. We've been through this discussions and arguments with clients many a times. I'm sure Shiv must be again having the same problem with the with the first-time hotel operators in India who want to do a hotel. They just go. I've seen a lot of them. They go to a place, they stay in a place, and they come back and they say, "Reza, I want to do a hotel." Why? I lived there and it was beautiful. But then he doesn't know what goes in the back end of the hotel, what is the back of the house of the hotel, how does the food come to his table in the restaurant, or it comes to his, the linen comes to his room. So these are some challenges that we have in India, and we have to live with it. We have to train a lot of the clients, like we're doing some X brands, and they don't understand that it's a Marriott. It may be a Marriott or a Novotel, I mean Accor with Ibis, but they want to have the functions. They say it's by Novotel. So we want to have a full-fledged restaurant. We want to have a full-fledged banquet. But overseas, when you see a Courtyard or a Fairfield, they do not have banquets. They do not have any of these frills that they wanted out here. But they say, no, it's a Marriott. We want to Marriott, all the products of the Marriott in there. So yeah, we face this all the time.
No, but I must tell you another note, just another quick one, that I must also sort of give due credit to all our operators in India, that over the years, and because of owners like us who have been building so many hotels for them, they have also started becoming very flexible, and they are receptive to suggestions and ideas. I love relating the story of the health faucet. Let's say one of our very first hotels we built was a Sheraton, and it's a 5-star deluxe property. And they would just refuse to have the health faucets in place. And ultimately, 2 years down the line, because of extreme demand, we had to retrofit health faucets. So,
Absolutely.
but over the years, each and every operator, I think, has become very receptive to customizing products based on Indian requirements.
Right. So you always have to adapt. Like whenever we're designing, I mean, myself, we're designing overseas, we're designing in India. So when we go to that city or that country, we always look at the conditions or the the way the people live, and we try and adapt to all those conditions.
Coming to bathroom experience, I'm an old timer basically. You'll be surprised. About 50 years back, I made a bathroom. I made a house in Pali Hill for a nice big hotel here over here, and you used the glass in the bathroom, glass wall between bedroom and bathroom. Nobody ever thought about that, and everybody shocked. They thought we were mad. Architect is mad, the owner is mad, his wife was possibly screaming at us over there, and gradually it became a fashion time to come. We used also kind of we used a swimming pool, and we used a glass wall in that over there. And they were shocked about how can I have a glass wall swimming pool with the people swimming on one side, other side you have a bar and you have a kind of mini theater, and you're going to have a kind of club kind of disco over there. That's the kind of entertainment we've been done many years back over there. Today we talk about bathrooms, we're talking about conservation of water and things like that. It's understandable that we have a conservation of water through flushing tanks and here and there. When it comes to shower,
I got it.
When it comes to shower, I do want to enjoy my shower properly.
Yeah.
I might possibly have a separate line, gray water line, so that water could possibly be separately kind of recycle, reuse. But I don't want to conserve water to lose my experience. I want a kind of experience to be there. Now, the other way of how to conserve water, not any water experience. That's what I feel is a luxury, whether it's a luxury home, what a luxury is supposed to be otherwise. We are conscious about that. We don't use extra towel, we don't use extra napkin, we do that. But when it comes to that, I cannot possibly enjoy my shower if I have to have little kind of water tightness on that. I like to have good flow of that. That's how we think about that. So we think technology otherwise, how to conserve the thing and not at the cost of luxury. That's my view. I hope I may be wrong or right over there. But as a customer, as an architect, as a designer, as kind of people who can come, they express what they wanted. It's my job to look how they feel about it and what I need to design for them. That's what my feelings are.
About the design and style of hotel becoming as a USP. Can the design be a USP of the hotel? Could you elaborate on that?
Let me see. Can you continue?
Hello,
Okay.
Sorry, Reza, I missed you there. Are you asking me the question? Sorry for that.
Yeah. I was asking you the question. Can the
Okay.
design and style of a hotel become its USP? And could you elaborate on that?
Yes, for sure. I think as an operator and as part of the hospitality team for almost many years, and we work with architects, we work with designers, we work with vendors, we work with everyone like owners as well. And so I would say the design trend is actually up to very large extent depend on providing solutions which is to the type of hotel, whether we are resort hotel or city hotel, we are in tier 2 city or tier 1 city. That depends on that. Accor, we as an Accor, we believe that we have attitude. We have a lot of attitude because when it comes to what we want,
Venture.
but then we have multiple solutions as well. We have multiple solution, multiple answers to the question when it comes to the comfort, question which come to the design, question which come to from the owner's end, and the cost part. Like so, that's why we have a huge range of portfolio for the hotels to cater to all the needs of the clients and the guest or the owners for that. For example, coming to standardized, we are moving away from the standardized. Like as you mentioned, the Ibis and the Novotel were our standardized product, and you rightly mentioned that the specification changes when it comes to India and what you see in Europe and other part of the world. But that is largely driven by the market demand. You know, we as an operator would always like the owners or the developer, like Mr. Vineet here from Brigade. The hotel has to be feasible, money making, and not a non-performing asset. So all these components do play a larger role when it comes to how the design trends happen. And then when we work with the designers, the young designers or the experienced architects who have been into hotel industry, and we handhold first-time owners as well to make them understand what a hotel is and how the relation between the front of the house or back of the house is. Coming to the specific to the guest rooms, like what is important in a hotel is like what a guest want: comfortable bed, warm shower, clean space, and what is now coming is also the clean indoor air quality. It's that's becoming so that the technology is also coming into the hotel design. Of course, keeping the low maintenance and less work for the housekeeping because we don't want to increase the cost over there. And we keep on evolving our brand standards, so coming towards a design, whether we bring in the lighting effect at the same time reducing the cost of the energy, we bring in the water saving fixtures and fittings, also to conserve water, and also waste management. So these are the things which keep on coming in the design trend. For USP, I think in the public areas, specifically the toilets, I'll not go into the restaurant or other space, but we are looking at making toilet as appealing and as attractive that they become Instagrammable spot. The guest should walk in and take picture that's the toilet of this particular hotel. Similarly, in the rooms, we are moving away from the traditional cookie cutter design, very rigid design, to homely feel where the emotions comes into picture. A guest spend sometime more time in the bathroom, like as Mr. Vineet mentioned, that you would like to have your phone there, you would like to have your books there, you would like to spend time because you are even the lady guest is also spending time in the bathroom. So we need to provide for them these basic but necessary elements. We do cater to that and try to have as much as possible in them. How we can have the style of the room become USP is that first is that the relation between the guest room and the bathroom design should be form of a one story. And I'm proud to say when Mr. Verma is there that the hotels we have with them, there's always a story behind that. What starts from the concept from the public areas, it flows into the circulation space, then it flows into the room, but there's still an element of surprise. How our local elements can be made a storytelling into the hotel space, so the guest is more eager to explore, and that becomes a USP. They post it on social media pages, and that's how we get marketing. We get more guests over there, and then moving away from formal hotel look to more bespoke design is also the new thing which is becoming a USP, and then have more flexibility into the design, not going with the fixed things or off the shelf item. I think that allows the creativity, that allows innovation to comes in, that allows the creative minds to various stakeholders or the consultants or the designers, everyone to come in and initiate the dialogue and come to a solution which is like not for 5 years, 10 years of renovation, but as a timeless product we design for that. And then finally coming to that, we would like our hotels when it comes to innovation to be more boutique and more exclusive. But again, with the space requirement, the TGFA becomes very important for us. I think that is what we feel is a USP for the hotel, public areas, or the guest rooms.
Thank you. Asim, I just want to ask, because Vineet had this question, and myself also, I've seen it because we've done a lot of good hotels in Gujarat, and there we have this water problem. In fact, one of the recent projects, I won't name it, we just finished, which is in Hansgrohe product over there as well. So, because of the quality of water that we have, we get this lot of scaling, and as he said, it's very true. You have only maybe water coming on the side, or maybe it's coming on one side, and the other side you don't have water. So how, and a lot of houses have these problems where we've done a lot of expensive houses, in Gujarat and Ahmedabad, Baroda, and all these regions. So how do you, maintain your fittings, or how do you clean them? Rather, so many of them, you get those water marks on the things. So how do you? What do you suggest for our viewers and the people, end users, to take care of it?
Sure. So let me answer this question in two parts. So the first part being a common problem which Mr. Vineet cited, that you walk into a shower, you open it, you'll find some of the nozzles are clogged, or some of them are facing in different directions. So we have introduced a technology called Quick Clean. So I'll try to show some hand gestures to try to explain how the structure looks like. So usually you have a kind of a rubber plate inside, and then you have different nozzles which are stuck onto that rubber plate. This is how our competition does. And when you're trying to rub and clean those nozzles kind of turn in different direction, and sometimes even get brittle and break. What we use is a very high quality of rubber plate, and there are no nozzles stuck on it. Rather, they are integral parts coming out from it. They are punched out in the same plate. And the quality of rubber is so nice and soft that when you clean it, it kind of goes inside, gets cleaned, and come out. So the direct, that disorientation doesn't happen, and the cleaning is much easier. And now coming how to clean and maintain a faucet. So like a big no, everybody says, no chemicals. Any kind of chemical or a Harpic or something like that, which we normally use, will definitely harm your chrome plating. Even for Hansgrohe also, which makes the best chrome plating in the industry. So the best thing is use warm water, use warm lime water to clean your faucets. And it's always a good idea, even in a hotel environment, to have a small towel, placed next to your faucets, and after use, you can just have a single wipe and it stays nice and good. So, this is how you can kind of get hold of maintenance and cleaning. I hope that puts it straight.
Thank you. Thomas, I'd like to ask you, what do you think about, the Indian market, and you have any special tips for maintenance? I mean, selling is one point, but after sales, and how do you, attend to this maintenance and of all the faucets and the plumbing fittings and everything?
Let me start with the first part of the questions, how we see the Indian market. For us at Hansgrohe, Asia as a region is the most important region at the moment. Or in general, we see the biggest growth opportunities for us in this fast developing region. India, we have a lot of potential to catch up. We have operations since I think now almost 20 years, and we just recently declared India as a strategic core market for the Hansgrohe Group, which is 1 out of 5 markets. So it's we put India next to Germany, the UK, France, China, and the US. And this is demonstrating what kind of strategic significance we see in the Indian market for Hansgrohe. Of course, and I took a lot of notes from the earlier discussions, we have still a lot of homework to do in understanding the Indian customers better and integrating the needs of the Indian customers into our product development process. But that's what also is part of being a strategic market, is not only to receive higher sales targets, but it's also to receive more attention within the headquarters when it comes to product development. And it starts not only with understanding the distribution structure, it starts with understanding the Indian consumer needs, customer needs, and understanding also the water environment in India. I think we have touched a lot on water quality and lime scaling. This is not an Indian specific challenge. This is a global challenge. This depends on different regions. Even certain countries in parts of Germany, we have high lime scale environments, low lime scale environments. So it's something which is in general a topic which we are focusing at Hansgrohe. But you said it very, very right. I mean, we as a manufacturer not only have the responsibility to deliver outstanding quality and innovation and design products, but also to ensure that we constantly train our distribution partners to deliver the service alongside the technical service team which we employ in the market. So it's very important for us to build up a high quality partnership base in India, meaning distribution partners, trade partners who invest not only into nice fancy showroom environment, but also who invest into a high quality service team who gets trained by us, either from our Indian team, but also from our German colleagues, to make sure that we are able to ideally prevent problems before they occur, through proper installation, through training, how to best possible design and install our products into a bathroom.
Yeah, that's exactly, because, sorry I'm interrupting, but we've seen that we make the client, or we recommend the client to buy a very nice and expensive product, and in many cases what happens, he buys it, but then the person who's fixing it is not well trained. So do you have some kind of a training program for them as well, to take up these fittings and do it the right way, have the right kind of pressure, have the right kind of fixing, so it doesn't have problems later on? Aseem, you must be facing the same thing, Aseem. There must be people coming back to you and asking you this thing.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I mean, we have a technical service team stationed in India, and also which is not only solving the customer's problems themselves, or big customer developer challenges in projects, either in specification phase or in maintenance phase. But also we are constantly training our partners and installers in the market to make sure that people are able to maintain a product, because ideally, even after, it goes to our philosophy about spare parts availability. If you bought a product 20 years ago, we still have spare parts to maintain the product. So this is part of also of sustainability. It's to take a step back and look at this, the world where when something is broken, easily replace it or throw it away. Right. So for us, we have a guarantee to make sure whenever after 20 years, even the product is discontinued, you can still get the relevant spare parts from Hansgrohe. We are holding a stock for that in Germany. And this demonstrates that ideally we are preventing maintenance challenges early on in the product development process. But whenever there is something, we have the partners in place, but also we have the tools from Germany, the spare parts availability to fix it, because many cheaper offerings in the market, you will see once the product is discontinued, nobody will take care anymore of the spare part production or stock keeping. And that's something which at Hansgrohe we take very serious, because it's part of our responsibility that the product can be maintained and fixed even 10, 20 years after we discontinued it. So to answer it, we have a great team in Germany and in India to make sure that whenever you use a Hansgrohe product, you can hold us accountable to meet all the challenges, which hopefully never occur, but like always can occur over time.
Thank you. Vivan, can you just let us know, today's human emotion is around safety, health and wellness. How can that be matched with hotel designs?
Yeah, so as Shiv also spoke about earlier today, safety has become important with the current situation and how we're looking forward to it. In keeping up with safety and the design, it's the most important thing is to keep things very simple and not complicating the designs, which is very common to both the overall architectural design and designing overall room or a bathroom, and also into the details like the detail fittings, as represented here. So if you keep your creativity simple, I think you can address the overall the safety and the unique design factor as well.
Thank you. So I think we are coming close to our time, and we had a great session. Vineet says that he needs to balance the style with the function in all the projects. I agree with him. That's very important. It's not only about style, because it has to be functional as well. Thomas is emphasizing on touch-free operations and experience of relaxation. Shiv, he says the new norm is we got to stick with the abide with the guidelines that is there, and the cleanliness of the bathrooms and everything. Mr. Premnath had a lot to share about the bathrooms and his journey. And of course, Asim, he talks about the air power, and that is, I think, going to be the next this thing for technology. Taking forward 4 liters of air and 1 liter of water. That is actually very smart. We should really actually look at it and save the environment, because sustainability is the main thing. We are, as Vineet said, we've got shortage of water in Bangalore, and most of the places will be facing the same shortly. So thank you very much, and I think I'll hand the mic over to Bhuvnesh. Bhuvnesh, you can go ahead and take any questions if there are.
So I think Bhuvnesh dropped out for some reason, but I can take lead on some questions which have come from the audience.
Please.
So, okay. So this first question that has come is from Shweta, and it's to you, Reza. The question: many innovators develop award-winning projects by looking at unlikely sources of inspiration. What are the sources of inspiration behind one of your most loved and innovative projects? So any one that you would like to, share here.
There's so many of them. We get inspiration from anything, we get inspiration from nature, we get inspiration from so many things. Like we, in Colombo, we did a project. Of course, it hasn't yet completed or taken off. It was for the World Cup, winners in 1996. And they wanted to do something which would look like the World Cup. And we came up with a design for them, a tower of 96 stories, mixed-use tower. It's got a commercial retail on the lower levels, and then we got a commercial, then we got housing, and then we got a hospitality and an observatory on the top. So we did that design, and it looks like a World Cup. And it's got a cricket bat and ball, everything. But if you look at it properly, then you know what it is. So we get inspiration from anything in nature.
I don't know what happened. I just got logged out. So there are a few questions.
So Bhuvnesh, I took lead on that, and the first question I've already. So you can start with the second one. So the first.
You want Reza? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the next one is for Vineet. Which project of yours is emotionally driven and ended up being one of the biggest innovations? This is from Pankaj.
So, hi Pankaj. I must clarify that we have 8 operating hotels, as I mentioned. Each and every hotel of ours is a love child. So, a lot of emotion has gone into every hotel. So there is no exception at all. A lot of blood and sweat goes into this. We work very, very closely with our operators from ground up, in fact, and because all our hotels are greenfield projects. There's none of them are acquisitions. So, but having said that, one particular project, I must narrate a small anecdote to you. One particular project was actually, we used to have our own brand of service apartments called Brigade Homestead Service Apartments. And this was from 2001. And so this particular project in Koramangala, Bangalore, it's in the middle of a very upmarket residential area. And this project was actually being designed as yet another Brigade Homestead Service Apartment. This was more like a residential project, and with 126 apartments. And we finally decided that, this project is in such a lovely location and very residential, quiet area. Why don't we brand it internationally? And instead of doing it as our own in-house brand. So ultimately, we brought in Accor. And that ultimately went on to be a Grand Mercure. And believe you me, that the Grand Mercure brand, and today it's a classified 5-star hotel, and it has been doing consistent 85% occupancy from the time it started. So it's one of the most, in fact, that is one of the hotels, other than the Sheraton of ours, that was one of the first 2 hotels that actually gave us the motivation and inspiration to add more into our portfolio. And that hotel essentially is actually, it's a 5-star hotel retrofitted into a residential building. Can you imagine? So that, and in fact, it has become a management study. There have been architectural schools who have actually come and studied that project for us. That how can you run a 5-star hotel out of a originally service department kind of a development design? Our back of house is very small but very efficient. Our kitchens are at 2 levels. So we still have a speciality. So I think if you were to ask me, Pankaj, that is something that would land up being one of our favorite projects. Excellent. Amongst all the favorites.
So there's one for Shiv. Thank you, Vineet. There is one for Shiv. Any new technological advancements that Accor Group has integrated into technical services to transform hospitality?
Thank you, Bhuvnesh. And Ajay, yes, we as a part of our continuous dynamic approach and transformations, not only into design but also into the technology, we have been integrating a lot, whether it is the basic building management system, to now moving on to the smart technology, having smart TV into the rooms, having smart disabled rooms. I think, for example, the disabled room is something which we as an architect, as an operator, as a designer, as an owner, never give much of importance, rather than just sticking to the guidelines given by the local authorities or the government. We have evolved a design for this called smart room. We're not calling it a disabled room or handicapped room, which has got all the latest technology at the touch of a button. So the guest need not feel, and it is not a small room. It is a big room, spacious, could be sold to families as well. They don't feel like coming into a disabled room. Other things which are getting advanced is like touch-free check-in, like your mobile check-in, which is becoming a norm now. And from within your room, using the IPTV or GPON, you can carry out all the activities from the bed of your room. And this is becoming so important and so guest-centric, where the emotion comes in, where the personality touch comes in, that when a guest checks in again, the hotel staff is very well aware of what were his preferences in his previous visit, what he had tried in the in-room dining, what he likes, and they offer him customized. The moment he step out of the room, reach the restaurant, there's a guy who greets him, tells him, okay, why did you try? So our technology is becoming hand in hand with the personal experience. And that is where we say we call our staff in the Accor hotel as heartists. Like they carry a heart, they carry a personal touch for the hotels, for that's all the guests. Yeah, so we focus not only in the front of the house but the back of the house, because all our staff they are the general manager, they are the brand ambassadors. So we carry on that. I think as Vineet mentioned, the first Grand Mercure Koramangala is so successful that thanks to Vineet and the Brigade Group, that we have, I think, maximum number of Grand Mercure with Brigade Group in Bangalore.
Awesome. Awesome.
So we carry that success story, whether it's technology, whether it's design. And I believe that the future of design is not going to be any more global. It is becoming local. We have to be closer to the roots.
What I love about all this is the pride with which, the happiness, the sheer delight with which you speak about your brand and your achievements and your partners. Having said that, we are well over time. I have to summarize the session, but I have 30 seconds for a question for Mr. Premnath. What kind of design solutions will you keep the new age customers hooked?
Say again.
With what kind of design solutions will you keep the new age customer hooked in? With a focus on bathrooms.
Look, bathrooms, let me tell you, for many years, bathrooms for the hotels have been always an example for the guests to come over there. They always see hotel bathroom as a great example, and they kind of replicate in their homes. So by and large, people have been paying a lot of attention to the bathroom. Today also, when you book a room, a hotel room, they sell you the hotel room, 40 square meter with 4 fixtures, with this and that. That means bathroom is described as a part of feature selling point. So bathroom has to be definitely kind of a very important selling feature of the hotel. I like to have bathroom as not as a confined, like a bathroom as part of open bathroom, and more hygienic and more decorative, more kind of
Excellent.
luxury
Excellent.
bathroom. I like
Thank you. With the permission of the moderator and the host, may I, Reza, sum up the show? And if I shall sum up the show with whoever has said, Reza, bathrooms have come a long way from the initial days. Today, we are proud of inviting people to our houses and showing our bathrooms now with exciting products integrated in. From the days in Iran, and it was also in our days in India, where the bathroom was out of house, to now, the house is out of the bathroom. So, well, almost. Yeah. All right, Vineet. For me, Hansgrohe is an aspirational brand. When we look at the hotel, besides style, we also look at sustainability. But moreover, we have to be practical. The emphasis is also on customer rituals. As a guest, when I visit a hotel, I want to look at luxurious aspirational products. Is that right, Vineet? Does it sum it up well? Okay. Thomas, because of COVID, homes are important to people. Sorry, somebody called on my mobile as I was reading. Because of COVID, homes are important to people now. So it is important to offer customized solutions. We invest a lot in research, in development, so that you can enjoy and experience a good shower. Hygiene is also of importance now, so that electronic faucets are very important for public and semi-public areas. Does that sum your pronouncements right, Thomas?
Yes, that summarizes it. So great shower and hygiene during COVID times are something which add value to
Excellent. Shiv, I lose track because the pictures keep moving. Shiv says, we are continuing our growth to be dynamic and innovative in all aspects and not just with food. We are proud. We have set up all safe protocol for safety of the guests in all the hotels, being one of the most safe hotels in the COVID era. Bathrooms are also a key focus area for guest health and safety.
Yep.
All
Absolutely. Right.
Devan, Machan, where are you? All right. So let me tell you, Machan is a very polite word for a brother, for a friend in Sinhalese, right? So when we are talking about bathroom spaces, a lot of emphasis is on the bathrooms, especially in the resorts. You cannot do much with bedrooms, but the actual experience in bathroom is something that brings in differentiation. Especially in luxury resorts, some of the bathrooms are bigger than the bedrooms. For those of you who are unaware, Sankan, Neville, and his father, they have worked in locations where water is a luxury because there is no water. So they recycle, reconserve, and bring back water after it's been wasted. So typically, where Maldives, Seychelles, Africa, small countries in the Indian Ocean. So Mevan in Lanka does great work. Premnath sir, the kitchen became an open kitchen, and now bathrooms are becoming open bathrooms. Bathrooms are becoming a part of our rooms, and are not confined to artificial ventilation.
Yes, I do agree. Basically, bathrooms are part of our room. Basically, I believe that when I go to resorts over here, I rightly said my bathroom is bigger than the bedroom.
Excellent.
My room is having jacuzzi, having little small lap pool. You'd have a jump thing over there, sit out over the deck over there. You'd be surprised that I did a home in Bombay here for a film star. His bathroom was 1,000 square feet, a bedroom 400 square feet. Can you believe that? Same thing we did it for a resort we did in Bangalore. We had to replicate similar thing. We made 2 suites. The bathroom not bigger than the bedrooms. So bathroom is kind of place to relax and luxuriously enjoy over there. Like an outdoor deck.
Lovely. So coming to you, Asim, at Hansgrohe, we keenly focus on water-saving products without compromising the shower experience. Our patent, AirPower, and EcoSmart technologies help us save water than 60% compared to other conventional products. Right? Gaurav is not on the screen, but he said a few things which I'd like to capture here. Design is becoming futuristic, but it's important not to forget the human element of emotions in design. I think that sums up a beautiful session, which has gone on for almost an hour and 50 minutes. I cannot but thank all of you for affording me this opportunity to be able to share time with you. You're all coming from far. You spared time from your busy schedule. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Reza, for some. Let's put our hands together for Reza for some great moderation. I think Reza, brilliant moderation. You brought in great perspective. You brought in a lot of cheer and great value. I think putting our faith in you was a great investment. Right? Thank you, Reza. Thank you, Thomas. Thomas, all coming from all the way from Shanghai. Well, it's a virtual world anyway. Mevan, thank you, Machan. Thank you for being there. And look to see you again. Vineet, such a pleasure. Pleasure with all of you. But thank you for your time, sir. Premnath, sir, thank you for your time.
Thank you again.
Shiv, what a pleasure. What a pleasure, Shiv. Being with somebody who's got his hand in perhaps every brand of a call in the region. Yeah, thank you for being there. Asim, grateful. And Gaurav, he went off after the keynote session. Gaurav, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Hope to see you soon again. Thank you for your time. Namaste. Good night. Shabbat.
Thank you. Bye-bye.